So what are we doing?
What are we doing?
A kata. Hello and welcome to another Bringing the Thunder. We're doing another kata today, and it's actually the first one of a new year at the moment of this video. I hope, it should be. So everyone watching, Happy New Year, and also Happy New Year to my guest, because I have with me today, I believe, Tobe.
Yes,
Tobe,
that's
so
correct.
Who are you? And what do you do?
My name is Tobe de Pre.
Yes.
I work at Skyline for 4 years now as part of the data analytics team.
Great.
Which is the data analytics team is part of the data core domain. That's what.
Yeah, excellent. So data analytics,
Yes.
You are very smart. Can I say that? I probably can. I think
you can, I guess.
you can. I can. Of course I can. So data analytics, you're all about analyzing data, figuring out trending, how it
Yes.
goes in. You're predicting the future. I mean, who that's smart?
We try.
You try, and it's smart because it's also a little bit in the same area as artificial intelligence, AI, that kind of stuff.
Indeed.
So
Yeah.
that's going to be the topic of today, I think.
Yes.
Otherwise, I might have the wrong guy.
No.
So what are we going to be doing today?
We're going to talk about a feature called behavioral anomaly detection.
Okay.
Which is a feature in DataMiner that can detect when a parameter behaves in a way that is anomalous, so in
Yes.
a weird way, in an unexpected way. Automatically.
So I don't need to say anything? Or
No,
not a lot?
it works out of the box without any configuration.
Okay.
There is some configuration that you can do, and that I will also show you today. That will improve the results a bit. in
Nice.
some cases.
So that is something everyone can follow along with. They can
Yes,
do this.
they
So
can do
from
this,
scratch.
yeah.
So everyone watching, you can follow along from scratch, do this entire thing, and figure out the amazing benefits of behavioral anomaly detection.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
All right, I will maybe show quickly
Yes.
what I will do today.
We have some documentation on this exercise. You can follow along with that as well. And at a certain time, we'll probably ask to either make a screenshot or to send something in to
Yes.
get some of those
Indeed.
juicy points.
All right, so if you go to docs.dataminer.services, you
Yes.
can go to the tutorials and then DataMiner analytics tutorials.
Okay.
And then you can find detecting anomalies with DataMiner.
Right. So that's what we're going to be doing today.
Yes, that's what we're going to be doing today. There are
Excellent.
probably a few examples more in the tutorial that we will not be able to get to today.
Okay.
So if you want later to look
yeah,
at them,
yeah.
go have a look.
I mean, it depends on how well you're going to do it, but I'm already
we'll see.
interested. I mean, it sounds fascinating. Predicting the future is always really fascinating, and this is
It's not really the future, but it's like, comparing the current behavior with the past behavior, basically.
Okay.
And seeing,
Alright.
is it still all normal?
normal or okay. Okay, so how do we get started? What
Yes.
do we do first?
So
Step one.
the first thing we will do, we have a package on the DataMiner catalog.
Okay.
If you want to follow along, I suggest you install this.
Okay, so going to the catalog.
Yes.
We've done that a few times before in the previous session. So catalog.dataminer.services.
Yes, indeed. And there is a package called Anomaly Detection Tutorial.
Okay, easy.
Indeed. Sometimes you don't have to invent complicated
No.
names. So then you press deploy and select your own DataMiner
Right.
and then deploy. I already did it before, so I will not do it here.
Yeah, no
but
problem.
if you're at home,
So
follow
that's
along.
step one. Make sure you have
Yes.
those prerequisites on your agent
Yes,
to
indeed.
get started.
So what it will do is it will create a view called Anomaly Detection Tutorial, and there are a few elements in there that we will use for examples to illustrate.
This is just a prerequisite of this kata.
Yeah.
It's not a prerequisite
No,
of
no.
behavioral anomaly
No,
detection, the
no.
module in itself.
No, the module in itself runs by default on all your trended parameters. It's
Okay.
standard in DataMiner, so that is not something you will have to install.
Great.
You can turn it off, but if you didn't turn it off, it's
It's active. Okay.
So
And opt-out.
it's an opt-out,
Great.
indeed.
Okay, so we've got this set up.
Yeah.
What's
All
next?
right. So I will first illustrate a bit what it can do.
Yeah.
And for that, I will go to this element, audio bitrate.
Audio bitrate.
What is this element? So normally this runs on like parameters that you're following in real time.
Yes.
Of course, we're a bit time limited in this tutorial, so we're not.
Yeah, there's
we're
probably not a lot of behavior in those
Yeah.
3 minutes when we've
Yes,
installed
indeed,
this.
indeed. So we will use a feature called history sets.
Okay.
So what it can do is it can push data to a parameter in the past.
It simulates a
yeah,
set
it
happening
simulates-
way back.
Yes, indeed.
Okay.
So in this element, I have this button here, generate data. If I click that, it will start pushing a whole month of data to this parameter audio bitrate channel
Okay.
1.
Okay, cool.
And that allows us to then,
Showcase, yeah.
show what would happen if we, it will act as if we are running through a
as
whole
if
month of
we've had
data.
a month of data.
Indeed,
Excellent.
indeed.
And that's going to be necessary to do any kind of
Yeah.
analysis, analytics on it,
Indeed,
and
indeed.
detection.
So I've pressed the button now.
Okay.
When it's ready, you will see that this data generated parameter turns to yes,
Great.
and
Okay.
then it's done. Then we can look at the trend graph here.
We should see data.
We should see data
We
indeed.
do,
And
okay.
we do. Just for your information,
Yes.
we have turned on trending on all the elements by default. If you want to try this on like your own elements or like in your normal operations, you will have to make sure that trending is turned on. So
Do you need real-time trending or the average?
we say best to do both.
Best to do both.
So if you look at the trend template here, I will just show what it is. I will have to do
Yes.
view trend template, I guess. Where is it? Here. Yes. So here for the parameter, we have turned on both real time and average.
Okay, so both
And that's-
is the recommendation.
That's the recommendation. All right. So now let's have a look at the data. I will zoom in a little bit. So as you can see, what this parameter did in the past month,
Yes.
it remained stable for like a long time.
And then it started,
And then it started, jumping up a bit,
indeed.
and then back down and back up again. And this 5 times, and then in the end, there was like a bigger jump.
Yes.
So what you can see under these jumps is that there are these little black or gray
Squares or, yeah, sure.
Indeed. So these are what we call change points. So that indicates that the parameter at that point changed behavior in some way.
Okay.
So I will zoom in a bit, then you can see some data, some details about it.
Yes.
So here it says it's a level shift, so meaning it jumps.
It jumps in level, yes.
And it's from a certain like 96 kilobits per second to 256.
Okay, so that was done through that detection
Yes,
and anomaly
indeed.
detection.
That's part of the anomaly detection.
Okay.
Now there are 2 colors. There's the gray and there is the black.
Yes, I noticed
So
that.
the black one is when it's marked as an anomaly, so something weird, something unexpected.
Okay.
The gray one is when it's not. So, for instance, this first jump is marked as an anomaly because it's like the first time that we see a jump like that.
Yes.
We've never seen it before. Also, the second one is still marked as an anomaly. By the time of the third jump, DataMiner sees like, in a couple of 5 days or something, I've seen it like 2 times already.
So it's starting to assume that maybe that it was new in the beginning, but maybe this is normal behavior. So it's
maybe
going
this is
to
normal,
start shifting the color
Yes,
of that block.
Indeed. It's either black or gray, but of
Yes.
course, behind the scenes there is like a number that is calculated. And
Okay,
At a
yes.
certain point, it becomes gray instead of black.
Okay.
So from that point onward, it's not an anomaly anymore. But the bigger jump at the end, that's again an anomaly, because it's way bigger than the
Yes,
things
the amplitude
before.
is higher, or it detects
Yeah.
the change on the y-axis.
And it has never seen something that is so high. So, it says probably this is
Yeah.
something the user wants to look at.
Now, just putting it out there, if I look at that graph as a human, it's pretty obvious when that happens.
Sure.
But I'm guessing the anomaly detection gives way to the ability to then automate or trigger
Yes,
and
so,
stuff, because
yeah.
that's probably...
Indeed.
Because at first glance you would say, oh, whoop-de-doo, I've got some squares. When
Yeah.
when you see it happen, because we're pretty good as humans, humanity is
indeed.
pretty good at detecting anomalies like that.
Yeah, indeed.
But we cannot do anything with it if I look at it. So I'm guessing those anomalies will...
They can come up in the alarm console.
Excellent.
Uh,
yeah.
So this is how you can see them in the trend graph, but indeed you're not looking at your trend graphs all the
Every
time,
day,
I guess.
no.
So I will go to another element and then I can show you the alarming. So yeah, this is another element. It looks the same. It does the same thing. It
We need
pushes
to
data.
generate some data,
Yeah,
probably.
so we will generate the data. So this simulates the number of requests for an encryption key that
Yes.
are sent to a server.
Okay.
And you will see that at some point they will start behaving weird. So
Okay.
I've generated the data now. And as you can see here, in the top right corner of the alarm console,
Yeah, there's a small icon
there's a
there.
small icon there. And it's now blue. Before it was black.
What is that on my glasses? It's a light bulb, right?
It's a light bulb.
Great,
Indeed.
okay.
It indicates that we found something
Interesting.
interesting, yes, indeed. If you click at it, you can see that there is a text here, 2 anomalies were found in your trend data.
Okay.
So let's...
And you will get that if you have that element card open? It's
No.
linked to the other, or just the
It's-
system as a whole?
Is the system as a whole has detected a trend,
Okay.
an anomaly.
Somewhere, okay.
Yeah,
and then...
indeed. And then you can open a tab that shows all the anomalies. So
then-
here you
yeah.
see the element encryption key requests.
Right.
It has
Right,
2
right.
anomalies. If I can double click here, then you see
It drills down and it shows you...
it shows you the trend graph, and you see indeed it was constant for a long
and
time.
then it started...
Yeah, 2 things started, like from the standpoint of anomaly detection, it detects 2 things. So first of all, the number of encryption key requests get more. So that's a level shift, just like what we saw on the previous element
Yes.
as well. And then there is also what we call a variance change. That means that the signal is less stable. Like it used to be rather constant. Now it's not constant at all anymore.
Okay, so it actually does some, not just analyzing the, the basic, height and level shifts and stuff, but it also checks if there's like a sine wave or a specific
it checks,
form.
Yeah, specific form. I don't know. It checks also like the variance in the case.
Okay.
And it detects that it has become more here. So you can either do that through the light bulb to look at the anomalies.
Okay.
There is also another way, which is if you open a new tab, then you can select here under Show Current, is Suggestion Events. That shows also the anomalies. It shows more than the anomalies. There are some other features that also create what we call suggestion events.
Okay.
And they are also...
So that's a tab you can activate
Yes,
and
yes, indeed.
enable in your alarm console there.
Indeed,
Yeah.
and that will run on, it will show all the anomalies detected on all parameters that are trended.
Yeah.
Now, of course, if you have like critical parameters, you might want to have like real alarms among your other alarms,
Yeah.
so among the active alarms.
Yes, a lot of times you might already have some set up. That's
Yes.
also an option, but if you don't have them, then this could probably help in identifying where you might want to make an alarm, right?
Yes, indeed, you can, like the suggestion events, they suggest indeed that something weird is going on, and you might want to have a look at it. If you know, like, this parameter, it's really important. Like, for instance, the encryption key requested might indicate, I don't know, that someone is like generating too many requests. Maybe
Yes.
it's like an attack or something, I don't know.
Yeah, okay.
So you might want to have alarms on this.
Yes.
Right, so we'll now configure that. That's something you have to configure. So by default, it's only suggestions. If you want alarms, then you have to configure it. So we'll go to this element, encryption key requests 2.
Yeah.
It's like the name suggests, it's just a copy of the other one.
We'll
It
need
will
to generate again, probably.
Yes, but first we will configure an alarm template so that we make alarms on it. So for that, we go to protocols and templates, assign alarm template, and then new alarm template.
Yes.
We give it a name.
So we're now pretty much creating the situation I mentioned earlier where I said you might already have some alarms set up and configured.
Well, we will generate the alarms based on the anomaly detection. So we will not set specific thresholds.
Right.
We will just say, instead of suggestion events, make alarms for me.
Oh, cool. Okay, so we don't need to do that manually.
No, you don't. Yeah, you have to configure it manually, but it's really easy.
But okay.
You will see. So we first have to like enable the monitoring, and then if you go all the way to the right, there is a column anomalies. It has a button. It now says disabled, meaning there are no alarms on this parameter for anomalies, only suggestion events. But we can click it, and then instead of all disabled, we can set it to all smart. Yeah. As you can see, you can like select certain types of anomalies that you
Right.
want alarm of, and you can do a bit more. I will show a bit more later.
Sure.
But now let's leave it at this.
Okay.
I will apply and then press OK. And then I will generate data, and you will see that instead of suggestion events, it will now generate alarms.
Great. So, okay, I get it.
Right.
So you configure an alarm template,
Mm-hmm.
but instead of having to manually indicate, okay, well, it's a critical from that number,
Yeah.
it's a minor from that number, you can actually get the anomaly detection module to do that for you
Yes.
after a while of data. How long? How much data would you
How much data you need? You mean?
to begin with that?
Yeah,
kind
so
of, because
typically
now
we
we
say-
have a month, right?
Yes. Typically, we say you need at least a week of data before the anomalies are detected well.
Okay. Yeah.
And then
That's okay. I mean, a week is.
No,
I mean, to teach something how to detect something, a week seems pretty fine. Okay, so it made indeed alarms instead of suggestions now.
yes, indeed. And if you look at the suggestion event tab, then you won't see the new alarms there. It's only this is from encryption key requests. Now we
Not
made
the
one.
not the one. Okay,
Not the
so
number
it's
two.
either one or the other.
Yeah. In the anomalies tab, you see both of them.
Okay.
So that's just for your information.
Yeah.
All right. Now we'll go one step further. So until
Okay.
now, it was always DataMiner deciding what is an anomaly, what is not an anomaly.
Yes.
And that's really nice. It doesn't require a lot of configuration.
No, just a few
So,
clicks. So
Just a few
that
clicks
was
indeed.
cool.
But sometimes it's like not completely optimal. And then it is useful that you can say to DataMiner a little bit more like what constitutes an anomaly, what is not an anomaly.
Right. So you want to kind of assist the anomaly detection.
Yes, indeed.
I was gonna say make the AI smarter, but it's not really.
Yeah, you can debate whether it's still AI or not. There is some AI in there. There is some AI.
Okay.
There is something that is
Cool,
not
cool.
AI anymore. So for that, I will go to this element, the cable modems out of service.
Mm-hmm.
It's similar. You can again generate data.
Right.
So let's first have a look at the data and see what DataMiner does out of the box.
Yes. So again, the suggestions and
Yeah,
okay.
again, the suggestions and stuff. So let's look at the trend graph. So this simulates the
All
number
right.
of cable modems that are out
Yeah.
of service at a given CMTS. So what typically, so the CMTS monitors like your cable modems at home.
Yes.
And this indicates like how many cable modems it can connect to and how many it can't connect to.
Okay.
And as you see, it follows like a wave pattern. I've been told this is normal behavior.
It is a common pattern. Yeah.
Yes, because at night people turn off their modem sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
and then the CMTS can't connect to it.
So
But
it detects.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a higher number, but it's not a problem. Right? It's
Right.
normal. But in this last day here,
That's some
you see that there are
anomalous behavior.
Yeah, you see that there are a few jumps. 4 to be precise. And I see that my anomaly detection wasn't ready yet. So normally you would expect that there are like blocks there, like I
Yes,
showed you in
yes.
the beginning. Now, because we were like pushing a whole month of data, sometimes it takes a little while before the anomaly detection has done it all, because we're pushing like a lot of data at the
Yeah,
same
it's-
time.
Usually that happens over time.
And, that usually
and now
that
we're
happens over
like,
time. Yeah.
here you go, man.
Yeah,
A
indeed.
month worth of data, and then
So-
we do it again 5 minutes later, and then again.
If you're following along and you see that at home, just close your trend data and open it again. Then it has had a little bit more time to detect the
Okay.
anomalies,
Yeah.
and then typically it will work. All right. So you see here that there is,
Some level shifts again.
yes, that's a level shift, and it's an anomaly because it's black,
Yes.
right? Also, this jump down is an anomaly, but this one is not an anomaly anymore.
Because it already detected
It already saw it
previously.
before, indeed. But in this case, you can maybe imagine like maybe people were working on it here, like they detected the problem, people were working on it, it went away, and you thought, it's fixed,
but it's not.
but it's not, maybe. Yeah,
That could happen.
That could happen, indeed. And then maybe you want an anomaly also the second time.
Yes.
Right. So what we will do now is we will go again to the alarm template. I will do it on the version 2, because then we can push the same data and see what happens on that.
Right.
And now we will give like a bit more information on what we think is an anomaly and what is not.
So you're using a different element because the previous one, that behavioral analysis happens when the data comes in. So once it's already come in once.
Wait, I'm just typing, sorry.
You do you. That's okay.
All right, yeah.
So let me ask you.
Yeah,
So,
sure.
You're doing a second element, and we've done that a few times because I'm guessing the behavioral anomaly detection only happens when the data comes in the first time.
Yes,
So
well,
it's-
indeed, yeah.
That's also why
indeed-
we're doing the history sets and so
Yeah,
on, because
yeah.
otherwise,
And it's a rather simple element, it cannot push the data twice.
all right, so it's not like we could say, okay, select the data of the last 3 months and run the analysis.
Yeah, no, that doesn't.
That's not a thing. Okay,
That's not a thing, it just runs when it comes in.
makes sense, and then we make a new element.
Yeah, and then we
push
make
it
a new
again.
element.
Okay, so.
So again, monitoring, I go again to the right.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I click the button disabled. So now I'm only interested in the level shifts, the level increases, let's say.
Yes.
The jumps up, right? So I will select that. Now there is also this drop down button here, smart.
Yes.
Smart means it's DataMiner deciding what is an anomaly, what is not an anomaly.
Okay, so you're letting the system take
Yes.
care of it.
Yes. Now I will instead select absolute, and that allows me to tell DataMiner like from what size of a jump is it an anomaly and what size is not an anomaly.
Okay.
All right, and then you can configure the severities here. I will pick the major severity. Let me look back at the data here. Yeah. We can see if we zoom in, it's a jump from 170 units
to 230.
yeah, that's if I can calculate, well, 67 more or less.
Yeah, 67, yes.
All right.
I think so. Unless we're both wrong and someone's
Then we will
yelling
see,
at
we
us
will see.
from the other side. You fools! No, I think it's right.
Yeah.
It's right.
All right. I will fill in. Yeah, let's say 50.
Yes.
Just to be sure.
To make sure. Yeah. That
All
we,
right.
Or math is okay.
Indeed. Yeah. Of course, if you put 67, it can be that it says 67, but it's actually like
Okay.
66.9
Yeah,
or something.
so it's rounded down.
Yeah. So then I will indeed generate the data, and we'll see what alarms are generated.
Okay.
In this case.
So I'm going to guess. Can I make a guess?
Yes.
I'm gonna guess I'm gonna see an alarm at least twice. It should
Least
happen twice.
Yes. Even more, actually.
Even more
We will
because
see. So if you see here, so the first jump, that's the one I checked. That's indeed alarmed.
Yes.
Also the second jump, it's almost the same size. It's also alarmed.
Yes.
And also this third and this fourth jump are both alarmed.
I see, yes. And that's interesting because it's different from an alarm template where you would say if it's higher than a number,
Yes, indeed.
or you would try and make it relative, but then it's still relative to a fixed place, I think. And this is really
Yes, so this is really like the jump.
the jump
You can make it like with a
regardless
baseline.
of where you are.
Yeah, regardless of where the jump started. It's the size of the jump in this case. You can also put it in percentages, like if it's an increase bigger than 100%, for instance, the jump. So
And based on what is that? And the percentage is based on the
based on the start of the jump. So if it starts
Right.
at 100, let's say, and it jumps to 160,
you would
then
say,
it's
okay.
a jump of 60%
Yes.
increase.
Okay, good.
Um,
Great. All
all
right.
right.
Well, that's pretty crazy. That's amazing. So it's a really big improvement on regular alarming
Yeah,
and all of that.
It doesn't really replace it, but I think it can be a valuable addition to all the features
Yeah,
we have
sure.
there. Yeah,
Well,
and it's not that complicated, I think.
No, and because now it's in your system, it has an alarm. You can trigger things on that. You can get a whole bunch of stuff to automate based on that happening.
Sure. Yeah.
Nice. Well, I remember actually seeing this once before at my own home because I have a domotica setup using DataMiner.
Mm-hmm.
And at one point, I had a cleaning lady come over and she pulled out my freezer
Mm-hmm.
to put in a vacuum cleaner. And then she forgot to put the freezer back in. And yeah, I never set an alarm on that.
Yeah.
But the anomaly detection did indicate that instead of the usual power usage, it went flatline.
Yeah.
And it actually gave me that as a variance change, I guess it would be. Or
Yeah. So depending on the version,
Yeah.
it's either a variance decrease in that case,
Yes.
because it's just
It
flat.
went, yeah.
Or we now also made something that is called a flat line. So now
So
will
it
just
would
be a
even
flat line.
okay.
Yeah,
Excellent.
it
Yeah,
depends a bit on the version
I
that you had.
remember seeing that, but I never really dug into it with additional alarming and button. So, is there anything else very particular you still want to show? Something really interesting? Or
This
that was mostly the
This
kata?
was
That's
mostly what I
great.
wanted to
So,
show.
what should we say people can screenshot to indicate that? They,
Yeah, maybe this, like the major alarm. Major alarms on this.
Perfect.
element.
So the cable modems out of service,
Yes.
where we've set up the alarm configuration
Yeah.
to actually generate alarms on every level shift.
Yes.
That's a mouthful, but I think I got
Yeah,
it right. So if you screenshot, I guess this,
This, yes.
if you screenshot this and if you send it in with the information below the video, then we'll give you some nice points. So you can use that to get.
We actually have some more ways to get points.
Oh
for you.
wow! Okay, special
let
secret
me
points.
see.
Everyone who's still watching, I hope everyone is. You'll get some secret points.
So if you go back to this tutorial
The
that I showed you,
documentation.
then there is also a step 7, which is called final exercise.
Oh wow!
And that, it's an exercise that you can do at home.
Nice.
And you can, so what you have to do is you have to create alarms on some events that happened on, like, it's one of the elements that were also installed with the package that we gave you. And some events you have to make sure there is an alarm, and some other events you have to make sure there is no alarm.
Wow, okay. Never seen before. You're setting the bar high for everyone coming behind you. We now have not just the kata for points, but an additional advanced exercise.
Yes, indeed. You should be able to do this with everything I showed you today. It's just you have to do it on your own without me.
I'm going to go to my desk. I'm going to try that.
All right.
I'm going to do it. And I hope everyone does it as well. All right. Great. Well, thank you very much. Let me shake your hand, man. Thank you very much for
welcome.
spending
You're
some
welcome.
time with us to show us this. It's an amazing module, an amazing feature. Great to see it in action, and it's going to be fun for me to also try it out soon. Everyone following along, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you did the exercise. If you're watching from YouTube, do not forget like, subscribe, and ring that bell. Marketing is laughing at me. Say it, Jan. It's great. So I wish you all the best. Again, have a very good new year, and I'll catch you on the next one. Goodbye.